This is a CBS2 News update. I'm Mary Calvi. 3 people are recovering after being violently robbed in Manhattan. Now the search is on for the suspect. Police say the suspect robbed 2 businesses yesterday, about an hour apart. A 66-year-old man and an 88-year-old woman were hospitalized in serious but stable condition after police say they were attacked inside a Greenwich Village shoe store. And a Lower East Side liquor store worker was treated by EMS after being pelted by wine bottles. Police say the suspect got away with about $200. NYPD, city officials and concerned parents are expected to announce details of a major crackdown on K2 in Brooklyn today. It follows a long string of incidents, including 5 non-fatal K2 overdoses Saturday in Bed-Stuy. Officials say since May, there have been more than 100 K2 overdoses at the same street corner on Broadway and Myrtle Avenue. We'll be streaming the press conference live on our CBS New York Facebook page. 7 people, including 4 firefighters, are recovering today after a fire in Queens. Intense flames could be seen shooting out of the balcony on the top floor of a building on Beach 22nd Street in Far Rockaway last night. We're told 4 firefighters and 3 residents were taken to local hospitals. All are expected to be okay. No word yet on what caused the fire. A car stuck in floodwaters in New Jersey was also engulfed in flames overnight. Firefighters in Manasquan said they received multiple calls for assistance during the flooding. The car was stuck in waters up to the bumper while the flames raged on. The fire department thanked the volunteers for their dedication during the wet weather. Hurricane Florence is gaining strength as it continues on a path toward the Carolinas and mid-Atlantic states. The Category 3 storm is now centered about southeast of Bermuda with maximum sustained winds of 115 miles an hour. Governors in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Virginia have declared states of emergency.
This storm, you know, they have minds of their own, and you always have to respect Mother Nature. That's one of the things that I learned growing up on the Eastern Shore, and so we're going to monitor it very closely. It could shift hourly.
In Wilmington, North Carolina, the shelves of this Walmart store are bare as residents stock up on supplies ahead of the storm, which could reach the Carolinas by Thursday. Will Florence have an impact on our forecast? Let's turn things over now to John Elliott.
Well, as it stands right now, Mary, the impact is going to be felt through the Carolinas, possibly Virginia. We're going to be watching for the possibility of dangerous rip currents and heavy surf this weekend. But right now, we're dealing with high surf and the risk of coastal flooding. I have a high surf advisory. We also have a coastal flood advisory and warning for parts of our area. This is during times of high tide. Really, all of our coastal areas at some risk, and we've been watching it over the weekend. More of the same today. And then also with this persistent rain, we've got inland flooding to be mindful of. It is still raining, heavy at times, in fact, for parts of the area. Look at the coverage through the Hudson Valley. Dutchess, Putnam County, Westchester County, Bergen County, just not a break. And we're going to see a shift with a warm front. The concern is going to be the possibility of some isolated thunderstorms, even an isolated severe storm overnight tonight into the first part of your day tomorrow. Just want to give you a real quick look at how the models are handling this. Rain will continue to fill in this afternoon, and then that warm air starts to fill in. So tomorrow morning could see an isolated thunderstorm. Mindful of 9/11 services around the area. The potential is there for an isolated shower, but then with more heat, and we're talking major heat, we're going to be in the 80s tomorrow, could see some thunderstorms dot the area tomorrow afternoon. Stays warm for your Wednesday, similar scenario with those pop-up storms possible. Less of a risk of rain Thursday and Friday, but still overall a pretty busy week, Mary.
John, thank you. Les Moonves is departing as chairman and CEO of CBS following new published allegations of sexual misconduct. Here's CBS 2's Jessica Moore.
Leslie Moonves was named chairman and CEO of CBS Corporation in 2006 after a highly successful stint as the head of CBS Entertainment. He helped propel the network from last to first place in the ratings, with hits including CSI, The Big Bang Theory, and Blue Bloods. Under his leadership, CBS has been the most watched network in primetime in 15 of the past 16 years. Moonves was inducted into the Television Academy Hall of Fame 5 years ago and Broadcasting and Cable's Hall of Fame in 2004. Moonves' departure comes after multiple women came forward in published reports alleging sexual misconduct. The CBS board has said it takes those claims very seriously and has hired 2 law firms to investigate. Chief Operating Officer Joseph Iannello will serve as president and acting CEO, while the board conducts a search for a permanent successor. Les Moonves released a statement saying, in part, untrue allegations from decades ago are now being made against me that are not consistent with who I am. I am deeply saddened to be leaving the company. I wish nothing but the best for the organization, the newly comprised board of directors, and all of its employees. Moonves and CBS will donate $20 million to one or more organizations that support the Me Too movement and equality for women in the workplace. Moonves will not receive any severance benefits at this time, and any payments to be made in the future will depend upon the results of the independent investigation. Jessica Moore, CBS 2 News.
An update now on the new Mario Cuomo Bridge over the Hudson River. Engineers believe a second span of the bridge can open for traffic in time for the Wednesday morning rush hour. The section was supposed to open Saturday, but workers removed the old Tappan Zee Bridge, discovering it was destabilized and could fall, potentially hitting the new span. Last night, engineers who evaluated the old bridge said it does not threaten the new bridge. Happening today, Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. The holiday began at sunset last night and ends tomorrow night at sundown. Religious services are marked with the blowing of the shofar or ram's horn. Rosh Hashanah is the start of the Jewish high holy days, which culminate with the observance of Yom Kippur next week. Part of the tradition is to eat symbolic foods such as challah dipped in honey for a sweet and happy new year. Today, a renovated station will get its first true test with weekday commuters. After nearly 2 decades, trains are stopping once again at the Cortlandt Street subway station. The station suffered damage in the 9/11 attacks. CBS News' Dave Carlin has more on the repairs and the upgrades.
A ribbon-cutting moment almost 2 decades in the making. The first swipes into this station with new signs that read WTC Cortlandt. Crisp and new now. But what was Cortlandt Street Station was buried in debris by the attacks on 9/11.
This day has finally arrived.
Stephen Banks, a retired flagman, remembers back to when he grabbed his personal camera and got this footage of a debris-filled station 5 days after the terror attacks.
Dust and everything covered the station. There's also a lot of papers on the floor from the towers. And I want to just see how everything turned out, how the station now looks.
A prominent and rare feature of this station is air conditioning throughout, plus the wall art, created with quotes from the U.S. Declaration of Independence and the 1948 United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The white-on-white artwork in this new station is stain and graffiti resistant, we're told.
It also has had several layers of protective coating.
When the post-9/11 work began on this station, 14-year-old Diego Vasquez was not even born yet.
And I'm like, oh my God, this is a once-in-a-lifetime event. I gotta go see this.
In February, CBS 2's Marcia Kramer was given this look at the progress with a rebuilt ceiling and new sections of track. But 17 years to get this done? Chairman of the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, Joseph Loda, said this $181 million construction project, with its cost overruns, was complex because so many other things were being built here and so many agencies got involved.
There was a lot of construction. These entranceways would have been in the middle of construction sites.
Loda said this station serves as a model for what the entire system should become, updated, moving forward, but also making sure we never forget what happened here. In Lower Manhattan, Dave Carlin, CBS 2 News.
The new 9/11 memorial for victims of Flight 93 is now standing tall in a Pennsylvania field nearly 20 years after the attacks. A dedication ceremony for the Tower of Voices was held yesterday in Shanksville, where the plane went down. The 93-foot-tall monument features 40 wind chimes, one for each of the passengers and crew members who died 17 years ago tomorrow. The passengers on that flight learned of the World Trade Center attacks and fought back against terrorists who had taken over their plane, possibly saving the U.S. Capitol from a similar attack. The 2019 Miss America competition has crowned a new winner in Atlantic City, and she's close to home. 25-year-old Nia Franklin is a classically trained vocalist who reportedly lives in Brooklyn. Her win includes a $50,000 scholarship. Miss Connecticut was the runner-up. This is the first Miss America pageant to be held without a swimsuit competition. New York has had 7 winners, making it the state with the most wins in the organization's history. A new study finds 1 in 2 American workers doesn't take a lunch break. But as CBS 2's Alex Dennis shows us, it may not necessarily be a bad thing.
Liz Angel is a digital media director. She says she is just too busy to stop for 30 minutes to eat lunch.
There's too much to do, and I find if I take a break and I leave my routine, it's hard to get back in.
Angel is not alone. A new study finds 50% of U.S. workers don't take a full lunch break.
I like breakfast, I kind of skip over lunch, and then dinner.
The majority of people surveyed say leaving work behind to eat is unrealistic because of intense workloads and pressure to perform. Ravi Kadizia is a human resources management professor at Temple University.
We wear our busyness as a badge of honor. We kind of also like to be seen as the person who's working right by their computer.
Experts say not stopping to eat is actually good for some people, driving energy into their work and helping them stay focused. But it's not that way for everyone.
On the negative side, it leads to burnout. So this is the real question, is that there's this double-edged sword of I'm going to perform better, but I might be coming home at the end of the day kind of depleted.
Professor Kadizia says if a 30-minute lunch break isn't an option, try to take several smaller breaks during the day to clear your mind and fuel up, even if you have a lot on your plate.
Study also finds more people are snacking to stay energized. 44% of people surveyed say they have a snack drawer at work to keep them going throughout the day. And that's your CBS 2 News Update. I'm Mary Calvi. Have a great day.